The staff at the Cincinnati Nature Center would like to share with you some of our techniques for providing habitat for wildlife on our own property. This is important because if every private landowner did what they could to provide habitat for wildlife, then there would be a mosaic or a patchwork quilt of habitat across the country that could help support the needs of native wildlife. So think about the things that they will need: food, shelter, water, places to breed, and we should be using sustainable practices so we don't accidentally kill any of the wildlife that we attract to our yards. These needs are basically the same that people have, but they look a little different, and they look different from yard to yard. So I'll share with you what I do in my yard, and then I will pass the talking stick to the next staff person, and they will tell you what they do. We hope that this video inspires you. Since I moved into my home in 2001, I've been working hard to make sure that I am respectful of the wildlife that shares the property with me. And I'm always working on ways to help enhance wildlife habitat.
So behind me is what I like to call my little woodland section of my garden. I've got some wood poppies, and over here I've got some geraniums and some Jacob's ladder. So planting native has been really interesting because I'm seeing a lot of diverse pollinators come to the house.
A sustainable action that I take in my yard is when it's time for us to mulch our garden beds, we will contact local tree services to see if they have any mulch trees that they need to get rid of, and they'll drop off the mulch to our house. Right here behind me, all this mulch was free, and a lot of it was actually from a tree down the street. One of our neighbors was taking a tree down, we asked the tree company if we could have the mulch, and voila, free mulch, and it's sustainable.
So I love bunnies, which is a good thing because we have quite a few rabbits in this area. Eastern cottontails. I plant a little vegetable garden, and I always say that I'm a little bit flattered when the rabbits come and eat my lettuce, so I plant some for them. The other day my husband found a burrow in our yard. The next day I was lucky enough to see the mom, the doe, out nursing the babies in my yard.
I learned that the monarch populations were drastically declining, and I wondered what I could do to help. So I built a tiny little native pollinator garden right here in my front yard. Included in it is common milkweed, swamp milkweed, and plenty of nectarine plants. And as the milkweed grew, so did the populations of monarch butterflies that came to it. They would lay their eggs, the caterpillars would hatch, the chrysalises would form, and then the butterflies would emerge. And I could watch this. If you build it, they will come.
So I put up a native bee house here in my backyard with some nesting tubes made out of natural weeds. I'm hoping that maybe some mason bees will move in this spring, and then maybe we'll see some leafcutter bees this summer, which will also help me out with vegetable garden pollination. But I want to provide a safe place for these native bees to live and lay their eggs.
So I've been planting over the past few years a lot of native plants in my yard, front and back. We actually have a partial meadow in our backyard. It's very messy looking, but in our front yard we've changed our entire landscaping to be all native, almost all native plants, and even some log pieces as our border to attract some arthropods, and lots of native plants to bring in insects. And I love insects, love them.
I grow a variety of trees and shrubs to provide nectar, berries, cover, and nesting sites for wildlife and food for me. Pawpaw, serviceberry, blueberries, black chokeberry or aronia, spice bush, raspberry. I created nesting platforms for the robins. I reduce waste by composting everything.